Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 1998 Porsche 911 GT1 Strassenversion, which basically means street version. And yeah, this has now 1,192 horsepower, 932 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.2 litre twin-turbocharged flat-six engine. The car itself now weighs 2,096 pounds, and it now has all-wheel drive, off-road tyres and off-road suspension. And it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.145 seconds, 0 to 104.132 seconds, and go to a top speed of 217 miles an hour. So obviously, even though this is a street legal car, it is in essence still a racing car with that giant wing, and yeah, certainly not meant for going off-road. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it can do. But yeah, let's take a look. So yeah, certainly more meant for roads or tracks, certainly not meant for doing this kind of thing. But considering we have a couple of cars that are also not meant for doing this kind of thing in the top two, then I am kind of hopeful that this will be pretty quick. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it can do against the ATS GT and the Bugatti Divo, which still are only two vehicles to crack the 2-minute mark. So whether or not this can do so, we'll have to see. It's got a lot of power and certainly not much in the way of weight. But being a car that's meant for a great deal of speed and meant for handling, it should be able to deal with that extra power. As long as the all-wheel drive is doing its thing without interfering with the handling, which it seems to not be doing, which is always a good thing. It's always a bad thing when an all-wheel drive system is being more of a nuisance than a positive. Getting some air there on the front, which is not very helpful. Flying around this course. We're doing 160 mile an hour on that part of the course there, which I don't think is all that common, but then again I've not always been able to see the speedometer in a great deal of parts on this course because it is fast and frantic. That's a great deal of speed across the finish line there at 192 miles an hour, and a time of, well, we've now got our fastest car, and by a huge margin, at 1 minute 56.109. That's more than 3 seconds quicker than the ATS GT, as well as obviously the Bugatti Divo, and smashing the Toyota Land Cruiser Arctic Trucks AT37, Peugeot 205 Rally, Porsche 968 Turbo S, which up until now was our only Porsche in the top 5, but not the only Porsche in the top 10, as well as the Ford GT40 Mark 1, Ferrari Portofino, Toyota Hilux Arctic Trucks AT38, the only other Porsche in the form of the 718 RS60, and the Lamborghini Urus to yeah, really knock it out the park. I think it's because it was really rather quick on sections that generally aren't known for their speed, because as you saw before we got to the tarmac on those last few corners, or just before those last few corners, we were hitting 150, 160 mile an hour, and really don't think that's all that common with other cars on this series. And clearly it's made a difference, because yeah, we're a massive amount of time ahead of our long-term or previous long-term leader. So yeah, kind of doubtful that we're going to be going any quicker than that, but it will be interesting to see what other kinds of vehicles like this can do, because now we have 3 cars that really aren't meant for going off-road in the top 3, beating out 2 other cars that are sort of meant for going off-road, especially in terms of the Land Cruiser. Slightly less so in terms of the 205 Rally, but again, the 205 was a rally car back in its day, so it is at least somewhat based on that. But yeah, that has absolutely smashed the previous leader, and I'm really surprised, because it wasn't the cleanest of laps. We were hitting a couple of walls here and there, but overall the speed came through in the end. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.